Hello friends, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to answer a question from an angry test taker on how to deal with loud people when it comes to the PTE academic exam. Now this question is something that I can relate to a lot because I went through the exact same thing when I was taking my exam. Now the question is, I face issues with noise in the exam due to the speaking section. It's so much noisy and people start shouting. I find that irritating while doing tasks. I need some specific inputs before attempting next time. Any help is highly appreciated. Now in the speaking section, for most centers across the world, you're going to have a bunch of students taking the exam at the same time. Now what this means is when the speaking section is going on, you have students all around you speaking at the same time as you are speaking, which can be distracting. Now when I took the exam, there was this lady who was sitting across the room who was speaking so loudly that I was unable to focus on my exam. She was speaking louder than a desperate street hawker in a market, crowded market, trying to sell her goods, and I really felt that she felt that the louder she spoke, the higher her scores are going to be. Now, as I started my exam, I was giving the personal introduction and I was giving the read aloud, the first few questions of the read aloud. I could hear her voice in the background and it really started to affect my concentration and it started to affect the way I was speaking. I could notice it impacting me because my attention was on her voice all the time. But as soon as I became aware of this, I also realized that the more I focus on her voice, the less I'm going to be able to focus on my exam that I'm taking, and it's going to impact my scores. So I just made a conscious decision at that time to block out her voice and solely focus on the exam that I'm taking and the questions in front of me. And as the exam went by and I started focusing on my exam, her voice kind of just went in the background and I paid too much attention to it. So for those of you who are facing a similar issue in the exam and there are a lot of people around you talking at the same time, my advice to you is to just focus on the test that you are taking, focus on the questions that are in front of you and pay full attention to them. By doing that, the surrounding voices are going to automatically be less of an issue to you. Now, and one last tip that I can give you is that if it gets really bad and you feel that you're really not able to concentrate on your exam because someone is speaking too loud, you can always signal to the test taker or to the examiner who's present in your exam hall, and you can indicate that the person is speaking too loudly. However, as a word of caution, you want to note that when you signal to the examiner and you're calling for their attention, the test in front of you does not stop. So you need to be mindful if you choose to do that. So there you have it. That's my experience of what I went through in the exam when I had a lady who was shouting. The funny thing is that she was sitting at the other side of the room. There were like 10 students in the hall and she was sitting right on the other side of me. So if it was loud for me, I can only imagine what the people next to her must have been going through. As much as I would have enjoyed thinking about ways to shut her up, it wasn't going to help me during the exam. So I just chose to focus on the test that I was taking. Anyways, I hope you found this useful. Hit the like button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.